Let's turn now to the story of Doreen. Doreen is an 81-year-old grandma. She's also homeless and has been sleeping on and off in her car. This week she asked Work and Income for help. Now, they tried to get her somewhere to stay. A number of the motels were booked up, so she says they suggested a guest house in Mount Albert, and they showed her some photos and some online reviews. The price, $350 a week for a room. Doreen thought it looked nice and she assumed that Work and Income had already vetted the property. But the pensioner says the reality was nothing like the sales pitch. Doreen is 81 years old and this less than polished Mount Albert guest house is not where she expected to spend her golden years.
Absolutely bloody awful. In other words, I would call it a dosshouse. No, I wouldn't even put my dog in here if I had one. No thank you. For $350 a week?
A change in family circumstances means Doreen is homeless. She says Work and Income recommended this place.
How do I get into that? No handles.
The box stored in this double bedroom, the discarded headboard and the stray bits of wood around the place aren't hers. They come with the room. There's a piece of cloth stapled over a glass window in the door to the bedroom. Noise from the corridor filters through.
I don't feel safe here at all. I'd be scared. I would never sleep. I could not sleep. Okay.
The room is tired and so is Doreen. It is a mission to get the window open. And then there's the curtain.
Yeah, let's give it a go.
That's great private, isn't it?
Doesn't really go the distance.
The shared bathroom is down the hall.
Excuse me, love. Where's the loo? Where's the bathroom?
I'm going to show you. We have a big spring cleaner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There is a tidy shared kitchen too. Doreen went to Work and Income with a support person and says she was shown these lovely pictures by a staff member.
They showed me some nice photos on the computer, totally different to what I saw, what greeted me. And I thought, well, hell's bells, that looks good, you know, little kitchenette, table and dining room, chairs and that, and a small bed, and you know, and I thought, well, okay, that'll do. That's great.
But for this 81-year-old, the reality didn't measure up. Doreen says Work and Income staff told her she could look at the guest house herself before signing on, but she thought they'd vetted the property because they were suggesting it.
And when I saw the room, the first thing that went to my head was, why the hell didn't Wins come and have a look at this for themselves? Because I said they'd be crazy to put anybody in this place. And that was my first thought. Those stupid buggers should have come and have a look to see what are they paying out money for. Oh, they don't give a damn.
Ricardo Menendez-March is with Auckland Action Against Poverty. He says Work and Income has a moral obligation to screen properties they are directing people to for emergency or longer-term rentals.
It is actually Work and Income's responsibility to take care of people. It is their duty to check whether a place is suitable. I don't think people should be expected to go through these extra hurdles just to realise that Work and Income offered them a slum place.
Move-in costs were 2 weeks' rent in advance, so $700, bond just over $1,000, an amenities fee of $200 to cover a mattress protector, linen pillows and a towel. Total deposit, $1,950. Doreen says her pension of around $400 a week is her only income. She had to borrow that money from Work and Income, and that means paying it back at about $20 a week. She'd like that debt wiped.
So if you find it hard to pay it back at this rate, we can have a chat about your situation and see how we can help. I think you've already done enough damage.
Auckland Council is currently investigating a complaint about overcrowded bathrooms at the lodge. We found a sign on the front fence signalling there'd been past disturbances here. 81-year-old Doreen won't be staying.
So where does it leave you? Where does this leave you? Have you got a roof over your head?
I've got my roof. I've got my roof as my car.
You're kidding me, Doreen.
No, my car. I love my car. And I hate New Zealand. And I've been here over 50 odd years. And this is what they've done. They don't give a damn.
So your car, Doreen, seriously, your car, that's what it's come down to?
Yeah. my car and the lady that gives me the lazy boy now and again in her lounge. I drive round at night trying to get familiar with the roads again. You'd be amazed what I see at night. Find a nice quiet spot and chill out. Old age doesn't matter anymore. They don't give a damn. You're just cast to one side. Oh, you're bloody old, get on, get on. And I thought, no, I'm 82, I'm still fit, except that I've had brain surgery, had a tumour removed out my head. But I just feel let down.
And that was Doreen. Farahar Properties owns the guest house in Mount Albert where Doreen was placed. Its manager Farahar Jubair told our producer Bridget Burke there is a big difference between motel accommodation and a guest house, and her company works hard to provide a place for the homeless.
The first thing is the guest house. We choose this. We have chosen to provide housing for the less fortunate to help them, right? To reduce the number of homeless people on the streets. So firstly, we're quite offended how you're trying to question our pricing. Everything is fair. The room was a double room. It was completely private. It includes bills. Do you understand what a guest house is and how all the tenants leave all their lights on, their fans on, their taps on all the time? So that includes the bill prices, includes internet, a car park, because she had a car apparently.
Does it have a kitchen or a bathroom?
Do you know what a guest house is? So a guest house, if you look on the tenancy, it's a shared living space. Okay? So no guest house will have its own kitchen and bathroom. If a tenant is not happy with the guest house, there's many other guest houses which are extremely substandard, extremely violent. At least we keep all of that down to a minimum. We are creating a family environment. So the pricing matches that and the maintenance of the guest house. Have you seen the standards of the kitchen, everything compared to other guest houses? Wins called us requesting us for a room, so we only had a double bedroom available. They said that is fine. So that is the rate for a shared room, $350.
And Viv Rickard is the Deputy CEO of MSD's Service Delivery. I asked him what responsibility MSD has to check out accommodation that it offers to people.
So firstly, it's hard to find places, and secondly, they've got choice in terms of the types of places that may be available. It's hard to find some accommodation in some cities. Auckland in particular can be quite difficult. So some people go into a whole range of different accommodation, which may not always be ideal, but it may be better than where they've come from.
I understand the difficulties with finding accommodation in Auckland. In the case that we're looking at, Doreen, she was presented by work and income staff members with an option for a guest house. She was shown pictures by your staff and the pictures looked good, and she was also given 4 reviews to look at of the accommodation. So they were pointing her in the direction of this accommodation. If you are doing that, should you not be sure that it's not, well, a doss house?
I think it came down to just trying to find something for Doreen. I'm not sure if it's a doss house. I'm sure these other people that are staying in boarding houses, there are a number of boarding houses throughout Auckland. But the first thing is that I understand my staff tried to make contact with other motels, which they did. They were unavailable. It got down to where is available for Doreen, and as a result, that was the first place they got to, which was available. My understanding is also that she was asked, do you want to go and check out the place because here's what it looks like online. Our staff obviously were in Onehunga. They haven't been to the Mount Albert site. They don't, they don't visit every motel or every accommodation area in New Zealand. And Doreen decided to take that as a permanent place to stay, and I can understand why she might feel that way. If it's unsuitable, if it doesn't work, that's another discussion between us. To try and find somewhere else.
They gave her copies, sorry to interrupt you, but they gave her copies of reviews that were written about this accommodation. Did they know that 2 of the 4 reviews were written by staff members from the lodge?
I haven't heard anything about staff members writing reviews, but
But what I'm getting at is they gave her information which they had not verified themselves. They gave her pictures of the lodge that had been printed off the internet. They gave her reviews. So she was pointed in the direction of this place, which she describes as a doss house. Her words, not mine. And I'm wondering, do you not have any responsibility to know something about the places that you were recommending and sending your clientele to?
Repeat again that, the accommodation that's available is, it's not plentiful. Number two, we do have a duty of care towards people like Doreen. I accept that 100%. However, in terms of finding the accommodation, we end up being the people that pay for it. We're not the regulator for it. They get choice about where they go to. I understood.
Should you not care where the taxpayer dollars are going, whether the taxpayer dollars are going on suitable accommodation or not?
Yeah, well, it's $350, I understand, a week, which is, in terms of Auckland prices, that's what you end up paying around Auckland. You won't pay that for a boarding house in other parts of the country. She tried other places. We couldn't get her into those places. That was the first place that had a vacancy.
So it's a last resort. You offered this up as a last resort, basically.
Well, we don't offer it up. We were trying to help her find somewhere to stay.
Well, you did offer it up because your staff suggested that as an option for her. So you are offering it up. You are suggesting certain accommodation to them, and you're giving them names of accommodation. So you are offering them up to the clientele.
I don't want to, it's not worth me picking at things. We have a duty of care towards our clients. I don't hide from that. But right. I reiterate that we end up paying for it. It's the choice of the person where they go to. We will try and help with that.
So right? you take no responsibility for the quality of accommodation. Will she get that money back?
If people get there and it's not suitable, please talk to us about it's not suitable. I understand that she has nowhere else to go to. It may be the place of last resort for her at the moment. There might be another place to go later for her. We're engaging with her in relation to that.
So will you pay her back she obviously had to take on some debt to get into this place, so she was going to be paying that back at about $20 a week to MSD. Are you going to wipe that?
I haven't looked at the actual. In normal circumstances, we will have things like we will advance bond, we will advance other things. Then she will look at the total money that she's got in terms of her availability. There'll be some hardship things that may come in, but I don't know their exact figures.
So you can't say
how much of that is recoverable or not. But we'll follow our normal circumstances and ensuring that her and the other people we deal with get looked after appropriately. It's not easy.
$1,950 of that is recoverable. So, given that she has indicated to you that this is substandard accommodation she wants out, will you waive that debt?
Oh, well, I think that's the thing that I'd really be keen for Doreen to go and engage with our people. I understand that that's what's happened. I respect her ability to go to media with Triple AP, who's a political piece in this. I respect that. I'm not hiding from that, but the reality is we're quite happy to engage with her to see what the circumstances are and see what we can discuss. But I haven't been able to do that. My staff haven't been able to do that. I think from the sounds of it, we're doing it through the media, so it'd be really good for us to engage.
Just before you go, one other issue is an email that's come through to Doreen's advocate suggests that part of the problem has been that there are events on in Auckland and there are no motels available. So is that due to the 660 concert this weekend that you're having to offer people, less suitable accommodation because all the motels are booked out?
We have problems right through the country at times when it's difficult to find emergency accommodation. It's not just an Auckland thing, it's not just related to concerts. There'll be times of the year, different events, where it's really difficult to find any accommodation, particularly at short notice.
And that's Viv Rickard of MSD. And if you're wondering, Doreen is being looked after over the weekend. She's got a few days accommodation somewhere else. And MSD has said that it is concerned about her situation and they'll do their very best to find suitable accommodation for her.